Hello, I'm Frank Buckles, Regional Director for North Langley of the Greater Langley Chamber of Commerce. And we're doing a series of chats with candidates in the Langley municipal election, city and township. And our candidate that we're with right now is Alex Joehl. Alex is running for mayor of the Township of Langley. And welcome, and tell us a little bit about yourself and why you're running, Alex.
Thanks, Frank. I really have a passion for trying to get involved in government for the simple reason that I feel that a lot of people are underserved. I feel that often special interest groups are taking advantage of our democracy, and that the majority rules is definitely a dangerous road to go down. So what I'm interested in is making sure that all voices are being heard and everyone's rights are being represented. So I would like to get elected just to make sure that there are no voices left behind.
Tell us just a little bit about yourself.
Myself, my wife and son and I, we just moved to Murrayville 3 years ago. Before that, I lived in Surrey for quite some time. I have a journalism background, but unfortunately, the media's been changing quite a lot, so I have since been gainfully employed by the Real Canadian Superstore. I'm the meat manager there at the Langley location, and I'm very happy there, and it's a great company to work for. And I really enjoy that we are able to provide so much. Our store is a hub store. It's a major retailer. I'm in the meat department, which I mean it's the focus of it. So I really feel that I've got in touch with a lot of people in the community just through my vocation that I have now.
Very good. I'm going to ask you a few questions about a few issues that are pretty topical in Langley, not just for the business community, but the community at large. One of them is transportation and transit. You know, and I know, and any of us who've been around here for a while know that traffic congestion is becoming more and more of an issue on an almost daily basis. What would you do to try and ease that a bit, and also make sure that the trains that go through Langley are not slowing down traffic, and especially making it difficult for emergency personnel to get to calls?
Okay, that's a good question. So obviously the crux of the problem is the roads haven't been updated with the growth in residential housing. So what we need to do immediately is to put a plan in place and build out the roads to where they need to be. That's going to cost some money, and the plan should be to get it all paid for within 4 years, because the next council shouldn't be saddled with the problems that this council will have to deal with. So that's the first step, and the second step is just we need to plan our communities better. We need to be looking towards all infrastructure being built ahead. So we need to have another look at the way that we're paying for our infrastructure. Currently it's paid by development cost charges almost directly, and that's not necessarily the best way to do it. So we need to reassess that. And further to your point on the trains, I think in the past they've done a great job with these overpasses that have been built, obviously at some expense, but they're a great step in the right direction, and I haven't looked into how we can improve on that. So unfortunately I won't be able to add my 2 cents.
Okay. Just to add very quickly, it's something for you to think about. On the overpasses in the Langley City area, it's quite good. I think one area where there may be a challenge is in Fort Langley, where we have residential across the tracks. Yeah. If a train was stopped there and there was an emergency, we might have quite a challenge there.
No, absolutely right.
Housing is, of course, a very large issue, not just in Langley, but in both of the Langleys and throughout the greater Vancouver area. What would you be able to do to encourage more affordable housing in Langley Township?
Definitely the issue is the scarcity of housing. Some people like to attack affordable housing by subsidizing it from the bottom up, and other governments have looked at driving the market down by taxing it, by putting fees. I have no interest of intervening at all into the housing market other than to build. We need to build more houses, and that is the only way that we're going to see real change that is actually equitable for all. And I feel that once we get once we have a plan for the future of our different communities and look for other opportunities throughout the township, we will be able to narrow down the needs that we have, like rental purpose housing. That's one of the things that we have a shortage of in the township. Langley City obviously is a little bit better at that, but I think once we get condos and townhouses being built en masse with proper infrastructure in place first, then we're going to start to see people coming forward with rental purpose housing, which is really the last step to bringing it affordable for everyone.
You mentioned, seeing the supply increase. Is the township, when there's a proposal made to the township for housing, are they moving that project through quickly enough, or is it getting slowed down too much at this municipal hall?
That's a fair question to ask. If you've gone to some of the all candidates forums so far, there is a general consensus from a lot of people that it's going too fast. And it only seems that way because it just hasn't been planned out right. The previous councils, they've been approving these developments piecemeal, and what it's caused is just chaos, and the infrastructure wasn't prepared for it. Now they're being forced to have to build up right after 30,000 people already moved into, for example, Willoughby. Yeah. So is it being built too fast? No, it's building the homes isn't the issue. It's the lack of planning that was the problem. And I think that's one of the main reasons that Brookswood residents are so wary of development. It's because they're afraid that it's just going to be another Willoughby. And it doesn't have to be that way. And that's one of the messages I have for those people.
One more question for you. The Chamber is always concerned about taxation. We represent businesses, and their taxes, of course, come from their bottom line. Do you feel that there is an appropriate gap between business and residential property taxes, or could it become a little closer because businesses do pay a substantial amount more than residences?
Yeah, currently my plan to fix the infrastructure issues here, it's going to cost some money. For example, the estimate that the council got for just 208th Street widening is $43 million. So while I'm not suggesting raising anyone's taxes, we are not going to be able to cut taxes for probably a 4-year period. I would suggest a 4-year freeze. But unfortunately, cutting taxes back, reducing them, is not going to be a reality if we want to do the investment that I would like to see in this community. So regarding the actual gap between business and regular property taxes, I can't speak to that because the alternative would be raising people's property tax, and I'm not prepared to do that yet.
Okay, well, thank you very much, Alex.
All right, thanks, Ryan.
Thank you.